Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. We're just gonna wait for a couple of people to come into the room before we get started. If you're watching a replay, always remember we're working through our gratitude journal. And if you're interested in the Love and Belonging Gratitude Journal, you can find it in the link below. So let's just give them a couple of seconds. Oh, I need to get my other phone so I can read y'all's comments. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me see. Okay, so if you're watching the replay, we're talking about love and belonging. And the topic today is giving love without any expectations of anything in return. So we're talking about, when have you done that? Let me go ahead and put the Q&A up here so people can answer that question when they come in. Oh my God, this is not moving. I'm trying to make this move to the top, and I don't know why it's so hard to stay up there. Hi, Life with Life. Hi, Hawk. Our Hulk. There we go. Hello. Hey, Payo. Hey, Tyler. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Gail. Hi, Stafford. Hi, Daniel. Hey, Sabal. Welcome back to the live. Okay. Hey, Bad Girls. Hey, Cowboy. Hey, Bean of Fire. Hey, Emmanuel. Hola, Gail. You want me to say hi to you 8 times, don't you? Hi, everybody. Ciao. Cow. Hi, Cow Yang. Y'all make sure y'all like the live if you're coming in. If you're a returning person, make sure you like the live. Hi, Nair. Welcome, Thailand. I'm doing well, y'all. Daniel, thank you for asking. How are y'all doing today? Let me know. Rumi's #1 fan. Are you talking about Beyonce's child, or are you talking about the poet? Which Rumi are you talking about? Hi, Livy Loves Bluey. Hi, Zedgy. Nicholas. Okay. How am I doing? You just got online. You was wondering how I'm doing. I'm doing well today. I've had a pretty long, eventful day. It's been a lot going on. Thank y'all so much. Hi, Alano. I love you too, Zare. Hey, Kelvin. Nair said, people are so selfish. No likes on your stream. Nair said, y'all selfish. Why y'all not liking the stream? Is this makeup natural? This is natural makeup. Somebody said, my love isn't free. I need candy. Oh my God. The kids is on the live. The kids are on the live. Hi, Ryan. Hi, you are great. Shout out said, my friend who is going through a tough time. Real. So people are answering the question. The question is asking, who did you love without expecting anything back? Real said myself. Okay, self-love. Musa said tough question. Hi, Shadow. Dan said Grace. Is that somebody? That's somebody you know? Michaela said my parents. Thank you, Ryan. Y'all, my allergies is acting up. Okay. Hey, Rumella. Okay. Hey, Mason. Hi, Talib, Lexi. There's a lot of people in here. How y'all doing? Oh, my God. So many people. Okay. Somebody else said parents. Okay. Mason said myself. Okay. Lexi said my boyfriend, Riley. Wow. Thank you, Nair. Y'all want to see my nails? Here you go. Are these long to y'all? I don't feel like these are long. Somebody else said these was long, but I don't feel like these are long nails. I feel like these are regular size nails because I can accomplish so much with these nails. Not somebody said you have pretty eyes. It's a pity they hide behind glasses. Y'all know I need glasses to see. Like, I don't want to have to put contacts in every day. Do. Okay. Somebody else said mom and dad. It's a lot of people who are answering mom and dad. There's a lot of people who are saying mom and dad. Thank you, Treva. Good morning, Talib. It's a lot of y'all in here. Okay, there we go. We at the bottom. Welcome back to the live PR. Is my energy infectious? Interesting. Somebody said mostly dad for me. Somebody said my crush. I live in America, y'all. I live in America. If you're having medical issues, please call the hospital. Okay, so everybody's saying mom and dad. So you love your mom and dad without expecting anything back. Welcome to the community, Ethan. Somebody said my grandparents. Okay, somebody else said my dad as well. Anyone did? You said what? Somebody said, okay. My sibling, somebody else said wifey. Okay. So how does that feel when you love somebody without expecting anything back? Because I feel like so many people, they are afraid to love people genuinely because they feel like they'll be taken advantage of. Y'all ever feel that way? Like, okay, I gotta stop loving this person so much. I'm giving this person so much and they're not giving it back to me and they're gonna take advantage of me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, like you said, it feels like everyone takes advantage of me all the time. Somebody else said it got to be mutual, otherwise you a duck. Carrie said my kids 100%. I actually don't have the effect filter on. Here, I'll turn it on. I just turned it on. And now I'm going to turn it off. There y'all go. So I feel like there are certain people in my life who I definitely love without expecting anything back. But I think it was something I had to learn to do. Because I was able to do that with non-people. Like, I love things that I do in my own personal life. Like, the things that I'm interested in, my passions. And I can just give a lot into that area of my life without expecting anything back. But when it came to people, I think I did used to have that belief like people will use you. But as you kind of grow into being a better person, you start realizing that that's only a certain type of person and not everybody is the same. Not everybody is the same. And a lot of times it does take patience and a little time to see somebody's consistent behavior, but over time people will consistently prove themselves for who they are. And that's why you don't move too quick when it comes to, well, for me, not moving too quick when it comes to developing relationships in my life, because I want to see a consistent behavior over time before I just devote so much into another individual. Mo said, facts, not everyone knows agape love. Bird said, I love the kids I coach. I don't expect nothing from them. Aw. That's beautiful. Thank you, Evelyn. I'm just blocking people, y'all. If y'all wonder what I'm doing, I'm just blocking people. If you say anything off topic, I'm blocking. I'm just blocking you. Hi, Shane. Julia said my mom and my dad. Carrie, you said nurse for 28 years. I love my residents. Aw. You said please don't block me. I'm just blocking anybody who I see say something off topic or like just weird, Hey, Mindful. Jaden said, I ain't never been loved, so I don't know how to love without expecting anything back. That's a real thing. That's real. Hey, Leisure, and Olabode. That's a real thing. Mose, you said the positive energy you're supposed to project is a form of love. However, a partner you make physical love to is required to be mutual in love. Yeah. Let me see. I feel like when I was younger, I used to just be able to like just give to people without expecting anything back. But that's when I started to develop that mindset of people will use you, people will take from you and will leave you without anything. But as I got older, I grew out of that mindset because I realized I was attracting those type of people because that's what I was used to. And when you no longer want to be used to a certain experience, you change up. And so that's what I did. And I changed my environment and I changed who I was interacting with. Therefore, I was no longer engaging in that type of, like, I was not interacting with people who had that type of behavior of wanting to use. When you change up who you're around, you change up people who have the same mindset as you, who want the same for themselves. And it's not going to be 1,000 people around you, but just 1, 2, 3 is just enough. It's just enough. Julia, you said, can I ask a question? Yeah, what's your question, baby? Yasi said, I think we should love everyone without any expectations. How do you do that? How do y'all love people? Jaden said, but I'm only 22, so I have a lot to learn in life to learn. Why you say, oh yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Musa, you said, I love kids without expecting anything back from them. Let's see. Welcome back, Mr. Abode. Hello, Benjamin. Yeah, I definitely feel like I don't love kids, all of them, because once you start acting up and you don't listen and it's consistent, I'm not messing with you no more. Like, I don't even want to be around you. That's how I be feeling. But I do want the best for kids. Love is a strong word, but I do want the best for kids no matter what's happening, no matter how they treat me. I always do want the best for them. But okay, I guess that means I do love them because I do want the best for them still. I just don't like them. So there is a difference between like and love. You may love somebody and not like them. So let me get clear. Moj, you said, I feel like we are all here to be used for talent, profession, whatever, but not to be misused for your kindness and giving nature. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Nazgul said, I don't love anyone who doesn't love me back. Hi, Angie. Julie, you said, as empaths, it is true that we take on people's emotions when we show empathy, right? Well, I think I have one of those opinions about empaths that is not like common. It's not a popular opinion. And how I feel about empaths is that a lot of the times when people are younger, they have learned behavior, and a lot of the times it's due to traumatic experiences and abuse. And so they learn to pay attention to other people's patterns in every aspect of them so that they can almost kind of protect themselves from whatever can happen based off of another person's emotional patterns. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like some people are empaths out of trauma. Oh, well, thank y'all. Music said, yeah, I love from afar. Welcome to the community, Big the Thug. Okay. Burn said, yes, yeah, yes, but you don't get along with them. Yeah, having a Black people does take away from my ability to pay attention and stay on topic. Because it's just so many people to block. Okay. Please do not spam the comments, Kula Pula Oppen. Please stop spamming the comments. If you want to choose a God, do your research. Go take a class on religion. And then figure out what you want to believe after you take that class. You can probably even watch a good couple of videos on YouTube about religion and the history of all religions. So, Mr. Abo, you said the worst love ever is when it is from the man side, and that's what happened to me, and I will never repeat this disastrous experience. You said this disastrous experience? It was that bad? I feel like that's not the worst, but that do sound kind of like, you know, sad that you had to experience love and it wasn't from both ends, because women feel it all the time. So I think it's not the fact that it's just a man that's feeling it, it's the fact that what the person did to you. My Myers-Briggs test results, I took it like 10 years ago, but it was an ENTP. So I do feel like at the same time, when you love somebody without expecting anything back, it's also because it's a sense of obligation there. It's definitely also because there is a sense of obligation there. Like, you may really actually enjoy what you're doing as well. You said even if I do it now, I'll still get ENTP. Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. You said she basically lied to you, Mr. Bowl. She lied to you. She didn't show any behavior before that she was a liar. Mose, you said you don't have to hide yourself or be absent because you are a good-hearted person. Continue to be yourself. Those people need that season of your giving. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Well, I'm not in that mindset anymore. I am more trusting of people because I don't just 100% give all. I show up as myself, as my genuine self in a moment of time, but I do pay attention to behavior and patterns, and that's how I make my decision is what are you constantly showing up as in my environment? And is how you showing up healthy for me to continue to show up the way that makes me happy, that makes me want to keep living and progressing and growing and being my best self. And if you being around me is making me feel like I can't do and be myself and love myself, it makes me be like, okay, I gotta go. I cannot be around this individual anymore. Let me see. Hi, Adeline. Mr. Bo, you say, yeah, when help somebody or support him, I do not wait for anything back, but love is different. So let's talk about love. It's 555 right now. It's 555. I think that this would be an appropriate topic to talk about. There are different kinds of love. Yes, Root just said there are different kinds of love. Let's talk about it together. Shoot. This is a good topic, I feel. So I like to take my definitions from Etymology Dictionary. And I don't know if it's called Etymology Dictionary. It might just be called Etymology. But I call it Etymology Dictionary. So I'm on the app. Hey, welcome to the live cornbread. So when you look up love, love is a thing. It's a thing. And it means feeling. It's a feeling. It can be romantic, sexual. It can be that type of attraction. It's friendly, affectionate. And it could be very abstract or personified, right? So it's a feeling. Do y'all hear me? Love is a feeling. Something that you feel in your body. And we talk about emotional intelligence a lot. Hello, Kevin. What type of love, Mr. Abode, do you want? A Yendago said, true love is deeper than expecting. Okay. Julia said, love is when you know that this person is a God soul and it needs to be free to grow and evolve. Okay. Hola, Dina and Brian and Aziz. And Forbes said, my mom and my wife's. You have more than one wife? So when you look up like deeper into the word love, you can break it down into it being meaning to care or desire. So there's a lot of things that you care about in your life. Even when you think about the things that you worry about, there is care in that worry. Love is all things, right? If we can break down and say love is all things, love is that motivating force pushing us to get to the next point of our life, get to our goals accomplished, get our needs met. You break it down and again it just means care and desire. Mr. Bo said love is always weakness. But if your literal energy is love, that means you're technically weak. Nuts DML said love is something to search for, but true love is real. God Grace said my face card never declines. Okay, well, period. Thank you. He said my 25 kids. See, now you playing. Now you playing. Now you playing. Kevin said love is kind and love is patient. In love. Okay. So I love how a lot of people who are commenting, most of the time these past few days, they've been saying that their parents are giving them the genuine love. And I think that's a beautiful thing to say. Occasionally you'll get the boyfriend, the friend, you know, but most of y'all are saying parents, and I think that's really nice. Thank y'all. Mammoth said love is good but draining over time, girl. Trust me, it's so draining over time. Nuts said I love my parents but def not in love with them. Why you not in love with your parents? Why not? What's wrong with that? There is a different, you don't have to be sexually, like, that's what, when people think in love, they think like sexually attracted to somebody, and that's not what it has to be. But when you are in love with somebody, that means that they're showing up consistently in a behavior that you think is beautiful, that you care about, you think is supportive. Like, I don't know, there are people who, like, when they are who they are, when they're passionate about something, I do feel like I've been in love with, like, just friends in a very platonic way. Like, I'm in love with who this person is and how this person is consistently showing up. Like, it's very beautiful to see somebody love something, be passionate about something, or just be someone, and it's just something that maybe that's not who I am, but it's very interesting to see. Y'all are so funny. Tade said, yeah, okay, where your friends at then? They at home. Mama said, love need a connection. Either it's personality or looks or etc. Well, love can have a spiritual connection. Like we said, if we look into what spiritual means, feeling is a spiritual sensation. Feelings are a spiritual sensation. So you can connect to, that's how you connect to things, through love. Because love is a feeling, it's spiritual. Forlv said love is about energy you give on someone or something. Thank y'all, I appreciate you. All of you guys. Is that water? Yeah. Ozarka? Thank you, Jaden. Nuts said feelings can be programmed too. Exactly, that's true. Hi, Mikey. Mo said love as in relationship is understanding. Love is feeling that'll deceive you. You said love is feeling that'll deceive you. Wow. Lust doesn't last. Love doesn't make it work. Love is a crutch for a meaningless relationship. What? Tay said, put me on one of your friends since you playing. I'm trying to love something. I don't think that they'll want me to put them on to somebody that I met off of YouTube who don't have a profile picture. And my friends are already very happy where they are, who they're with. Mama said, nah, try to understand it is spiritual but need a physical connection. I'm trying to understand. Give me a moment. I'm trying to understand. I guess if you're surface level, then you'll see it as a physical connection. But when you look deeper into it, everything starts spiritual first as a foundation. So yes, you're correct. I guess you would have something physical that you're connecting to, but underneath it is the spiritual. So that's why I'm like, okay, we got to just say what the spiritual thing is, because the physical is just a reflection of the spiritual. You feel me? Mama said, love drain you, glass love until you lose yourself. Musa said, if love is spiritual, then it's a tricky one. Mama said, you never understand it until you lose yourself fully. How do you lose yourself? When have you lost yourself? I'm so intrigued. When have you lost yourself? Isn't you're still here. You're hitting me up on this phone and you're texting me. Yourself is still here. So what really did you lose? What spiritual aspect of yourself do you feel like you lost loving somebody? Nut said, do you feel love or do you just love? I just love my parents. Feeling love from them is different than loving them. Do I feel love? I definitely do feel love, like, especially in experiences. I think that, you know, when you're in that like flow state of experience and it's like everything is just going really smoothly. I'm having a really good time. I'm really enjoying myself. This is just so amazing. Like, that's like, to me, that's a feeling of love. It's like that flow state. Like when you're with a group of friends, are you with your close friend and y'all doing something fun? Are you with a family? You at a family event and everybody just gathered around laughing and having fun. Like, I think a lot of times it's easier to feel love in group settings where everybody, you know, are cool with each other and are having a good time, because it just feels like it's so easy. Things are flowing so well. Alexandra said, love is life, girl. Yes, ma'am. Love is life. Queen, you said your ex. Greg said, all our human love is conditional, and in front of difficulties and problems, our love stops and we become radically selfish and our love stops immediately. Yeah, I do agree. I think when we're placed on this world, we become conditional. Everything becomes conditional because it's 3D. And you're fitting an energetic form into physical things. Therefore, it's no longer able to expand the way that it naturally expands. Like when they talk about God is love and we talk about what life is and God is all things, I see it as, okay, this whole entire life experience is God. And it is putting its spirit in physical forms. And because its spirit is used to staying in a connected form, being able to flow in and out, it's harder for, we know what it feels like to be connected and we want to achieve that godlike state, but we're constricted within this physical form so that we can experience this experience, whatever you're experiencing in this life. And you get the choice. If you have the power, you have the understanding to know that you have the choice to direct and will your life. When you start realizing, oh, I have the ability to will my life in the direction that I want it to go, that's when you start getting more into, okay, now I'm using that God state, you know, now I can be more in my God state. But you can never really be that at omnipresent, like after death. Because y'all know, I like to watch some near-death experiences sometimes, and a lot of people, they always say, oh, when I died, I just felt this overwhelming sense of love. I felt like this overwhelming sense of love, and which is natural. But then you get into this world and you're condensed into this physical form, and now your main thought is, I need to survive. I'm afraid to be lost. I'm afraid to die, you know, be without love. I don't know. I hope I'm not just talking. I'm just going on a little rant. Musa says spirituality is subjective. That's what makes it difficult. It is very subjective. You're right. That's why sometimes I do like to go by definitions of stuff, because when I look at the definitions of stuff, it's no longer as subjective. Mr. Bowl said, love is simply natural trick to attract man to woman. for reproduction and to keep mankind. Okay, so Mr. Aboa, it seems like we have two different perspectives when it comes to love. I think you're looking at it as a more physical thing because you're talking about the man to the woman. And I'm seeing it more of what does it look like beyond the physical? How are people staying connected in that beyond the physical? Hey, Terry. Mammoth said you can't see it when you do. You can't see what? Harry said love doesn't exist. Greg said we put masks on because we know what in our truth no one can love us. That's why we are changing all the time. It's not a sense of knowing. It's a sense of feeling. Like that's a belief that no one can love you. It's very possible to have a relationship with somebody who truly does love who you are. Genuinely. We just have to allow ourselves to be ourselves. And we have to allow life to work out for us to attract that experience. But you got to learn to be yourself unapologetically first. And that's a lot of people's fear. Mammoth said, guys never love anyone without anything in back by experience on God. Mr. Bo said, and I believe the birds and animals have some sort of love before coupling. Momin, you said, you're right, woman. Truth. And then Mia said, amen. Oh, Musa said she preaching now. Oh, was I preaching? Okay, period. Hold up. Oh, welcome, GR. Welcome to the chat, friend. Ho? You said women are prohibited from preaching the word of God to others. Well, at least you know it's the word of God. Totally not. Prince said his parents. He loves his parents without expecting anything back. Oh my God. Okay, Greg said why we call love physical and emotional reaction in our bodies. You want to know what love means? Look at cross and beaten disfigured body of God covered in blood and wounds. This is true love. God was not on the cross, baby. Y'all want to tell him who was on the cross? Because God was not on the cross. God was not bloody and disfigured on the cross. So, but what you trying to say basically, Greg, is that sacrifice is real love. Okay. Got it. Okay, Pathway Reading USA said, don't give me that faith crap with something that there's no evidence for, that you cannot prove what is there beyond the physical. You said you want to see something beyond physical, sweetie. You are physical. You know it's not physical? Your intuition, your ego, your spirits, your mind. Not your brain, but your mind. Your aura, your visions, your thoughts. These are all spiritual things. These are all things that that are not tangible, but they are also a strong aspect of the human being. And without those, there will be no being. It would just be a human, not a being, right? Beings are things that are animated. That is the evidence. Musa said, have you experienced a spiritual awakening? Y'all want to know a secret? Okay, we got to get to 75 likes if y'all want to know a secret about my spiritual awakening. If you want to know a secret about my spiritual awakening, we got to get to 75 likes. Pathway Reading USA said, try the love equation without money and see what happens in the United States. What a joke. Who mentioned money, though? Mia said, who did I love without expecting anything back? Is God. I love God without expecting anything back in return. Harm girl. Pathway Reading USA said, God says those who draw close to him, he'll draw close to them. But those who forsake him, he'll forsake them. You need to learn your scriptures better. Okay. Sanimi said, don't care about the skin color. Okay. Love them for who they are. Emmanuel said, you and I and everyone here were created by God to live in fellowship with him here and for eternity. The first man, Adam, sinned, causing sin and death to enter the world. You know what's so interesting that you say that? I think that when it comes to different religions, somebody was asking about what religion should they choose. All religions have their own narrative about how the world was created. And who says that they're not right? That's their narrative. That's how they describe the world of creation. But a lot of times when we speak of people's narrative, human beings naturally use figurative language to describe things. And we often forget how to interpret figurative language when it's right in our face. That's all I gotta say. Mermaid said, can someone give me context? What do you need context about, babe? What can I help you with? Okay, here's another one. Oh, we got to 77. I'm going to tell you about my spiritual awakening after I read this other one. This is fun, reading these. Okay, Pathway Readings USA said, the Bible says you reap what you sow. And so if you don't love God, you're going to reap that back from him. I agree. It's so funny. I hope it's you just typing in caps and you're not just yelling at me. Because I agree with what you're saying. We just don't have the same religion, and that's okay. Somebody said, everyone was born atheist by default. You have to be taught to believe in God. Love is purely physical. Gods and fairies aren't real. So let me tell y'all about my spiritual awakening story. Let me tell you about it. It was in 2020, to be specific. And that whole year, I was just questioning who God is. Like, what is this God thing? This is not making any sense. That whole time frame, I would watch lots of different things to try to understand this spiritual aspect of the life. When I tell you I watched a lot of different people, I watched sermons. I would listen to the Bible. I would listen to ex-demon worshipers or Satanists, ex-Satan worshipers, which I thought that man was probably mentally ill and he just wanted attention. But I used to watch his videos. I used to watch videos about Jesus. It's a whole thing on YouTube called like from tarot to like Jesus, or like from spirituality or through, what's the word? It's like the modern day spirituality. They were like from spirituality to Jesus. They would talk about how they used to be a tarot reader, or they used to do da-da-da, and then they became Christian. I would watch those. I would watch preachers who talked about no longer being a preacher and why they're no longer a preacher. I would look up videos of near-death experiences on top of trying to figure out what the demons look like, looking at videos of demons. So when I tell you I was on a search to figure this out, because it was not making sense, and I do not like when things do not make sense to me. I do not like it. It confuses me, and it keeps me a little stuck. So I was like, okay, what does this all mean? And one day, to be specific, it was on Halloween, and it was a full moon in Pisces. I think it was in Pisces. It's like the blue moon or something like that. And I am a Pisces moon in astrology, just in case y'all need to know. On the full moon, I was sitting in my home watching a video of a man talking about why he was no longer a preacher and why he no longer is Christian. And it just snapped. It just clicked. And it was like, what I learned later is that this could have been a Kundalini awakening. Because what happened was, it felt like a surge go into my brain, like in the back area. And it was like, it just all clicked, like, oh. And I felt like I understood everything that was happening. What is that? And then I said, oh, and it made me feel like I was a little crazy, because it felt like I was like very, like like my body was excited, not like me excited, like happy excited, but like a very buzzy feeling. Like I felt like, just like, oh my God, like what the heck, what just happened? I've never experienced this before. But I remember shortly after I had that spiritual awakening, and I was trying to, oh, another person who I used to watch was, let me not forget him, because I used to love watching his videos. What's his name? The Merkaba on YouTube. The Merkaba, yeah, his videos was very helpful as well. But soon after that, well, that was like Halloween. Soon after that, we had to vote. Like a couple of months after that. And I remember walking to the church that we were voting in, and I just asked myself, why are all the churches so connected to the government? You know, why are these churches so connected to our government? And then I just started realizing, like, the government is God. Because why does religion and government, what does those have to do anything with each other? What do those have to do anything with each other? Why are we voting in a church? And it was just felt so surreal walking into a church that was like, Jesus saves all. And another thing that I used to study was astrology, but more like the history of religion and astrology, like the religious symbols in astrology. So when I tell y'all I have all these things going on in my mind at one time, and I'm comparing things to things to things, that's what's happening in my mind a lot of the times. So that was my spiritual awakening. And after that, it's not like I was fully understanding, because I still am on my spiritual journey of learning. But from what I've learned, and I say this often, and sometimes it is hard for me to explain. So I hope that when I say this, my intentions are to explain it as clearly as possible. But what I've learned from my spiritual awakening is that we are all just beings. There are many forms of being in this life. There is a cumulative version of us, right, which we consider God. And how I correlate it to is like a physical human body. Let's just say, don't get mad at me, but let's just do a correlation and say the physical human body could be considered God. And we have cells that make up communities, that build our organs, that function together to allow the body to function in totality. Does that make sense? If we could compare a human being to a cell, they're actually very reflective of each other. As above, so below, right? Stay with me. As above, so below. If you do your research, the human being is just very similar to the cell. The cell, again, comes together to create communities. The communities create organs, which creates muscles, which creates all of these things around us, right? They all have a job that they do to support the functioning of the human body. And when you think about what the Bible tells us, a lot of times, the Bible teaches us pragmatic skills so that we can have morals, which is learning what's right and what is wrong. Why do we need to know what's right and what's wrong? So we can work in our community to support the function of God, which is the cumulative of us all. Does that make sense? No, I don't go to church, y'all. I don't go to church. Emmanuel said, what happens to your soul and spirit after death? I like that one movie called Soul on Disney Channel. Now, I don't know. I haven't died in this form yet. Maybe when I go to bed, that is considered death. Maybe it's like when you dream. But I like the idea of what Soul said in the Disney movie. Primary A said there's no such thing as a soul or spirit. 1,000-year-old fairy tale. Okay. Kinder at Tube said this question understand to me now, so I love God and mom than you. Okay, thank you, baby. I love you too. Bogdan said try the money without love and see where it will get you, bro. Hi, Kiki. Hi, Raji. Met said that's your problem. You need to read his word. Hello, Argentina. Welcome back to the live, Mondarius. Abdullah said people don't follow the Bible. Abdullah said Bible say no sex without marriage. Now every sex without marriage in us mostly. Okay. It's called possessed. You're delusional. The government is not God. I didn't say it was God. It's just our God. It's not the God, not the Alpha and the Omega, but it is our God because it controls you and it structures you. It puts you in a system that you work in. So Lithium said loving without needing anything in return sound a lot like our true Father in heaven. Heaven said you're a bit immature. Thank you, Hanjin Suku. GR said, is love reciprocal? Of course. Of course it's reciprocal. Perfect Purple said, love is never 100%. Lithium said, beautiful analogy. Just as the trees are leaving growing leaves. Yes. Just as the leaves leave a tree during the fall, they grow back. Heaven said, what the heck are you talking about? Mr. Bowl said, loving without waiting for anything in return is the parent love towards their children. I am right this time. Hammer. The 10 Commandments. Okay. Henny said, okay, then one question. Because you are an intelligent person, why am I the only real man left on earth? How can this be possible when so many a boy-born human being are living on this planet? Okay. Lithium said, yes, we are on earth because we wanted independence from God, so he gave it to us in the form of earth bodies. As humans, we are lucky to have a conscience we can decide to know or forget God. That's interesting. That's a very interesting perspective. I actually think I like that perspective. Lithium, you said the soul never dies, goes from body to body until you surrender to God. I like it. And I think that a lot of times people can describe their beliefs, and when other people just don't understand it, they don't agree with it. And a lot of times I do believe that I say very similar things to what other people say, but because I'm not using the language through the Bible to say it or through another text, they just don't understand what I'm saying. They don't agree. But I do see the similarities in the conversations that we have. Mr. Ball said, God is generous and merciful, and when we love the God and we worship him perfectly, I will give us the paradise in return. Yeah, I think the thing about it is that for me, when I say God, I'm not putting it as a higher individual power outside of me. I see me as a part of a whole. And I don't see it as a physical being sitting on, sitting in the clouds looking down at me, judging me. I see it as just an energy moving through me. At the end of the day, it's just something moving through me. So when we talk about loving without expecting anything back, I really do feel like we are always in a state of loving. We are always in a state of loving. Always. And I think the basic thing to expect back from somebody is peace and being nice to each other, having morals, knowing what's right and what's wrong, being supportive to each other and not talking down on other people and being rude and disagreeing with them or fighting them because you don't agree with them. So if you always have to agree with somebody to love them, you're going to always have an expectation. So that it's kind of a trick question when I ask that, like, who did you love without expecting anything back? It's not like I'm saying this like that has to be the way that you live your life. You don't have to love. You can love people and have expectations at the same time. You don't have to love people and, feel like, okay, I shouldn't expect anything back. I feel like you should always expect common sense back from those who you exchange love with, because either way you're going to love, either you're going to love in a healthy way or love in an unhealthy way. But you're going to love regardless. You have no choice. GR, wait, hold up. Musa, you said, I get this weird energy every time I try to read the Bible by myself. I think it has to do with spirit of discernment. That's interesting. I remember when I used to try to read the Bible, again, around that time, that's another thing that I would do was read the Bible. And for me, it was because I could not comprehend the text. And as an adult now, I can sit down and I can study. I just didn't know how to do that in the past. And I think that's why I remember trying to force myself to read the Bible, and my spirit said to me, like, it will be a day when you'll sit down and you'll read this and it will make clear sense. So don't rush. Like I said, my spirit was like, just don't rush to read it. Don't force yourself to do this now. It will be a day when you'll sit down and this will make perfect sense. So I said, okay. And I just put it up. GR, you said, if love is reciprocal, then most of the time I think we may want something in return, even something intangible such as feeding wildlife. Yeah, I agree. I think that love is always reciprocal. Well, yeah. Anywho, I agree with what you said, GR. PR, you said, absolutely having morals and self-respect, esteem, and decorum. Okay. Lithium said, amen, hallelujah. Love should connect all. God should connect all, not divide. Exactly. Hi. You fove to look. Okay. Mr. Bo said, Meiana, we have one God only, and I love one God. You, how many gods you have? I just told you what I think God is. It's just one God. God is the whole of the cumulative. I mean, God is, I am a part of the whole. The whole is God. I'm a part of it. I'm just one. I'm one grain of sand in trillions of it. God is the beach. I am the one grain of sand. Thank you, Ms. Og. Diamond said, my love is free for all. My trust must be earned. Yes. Y'all, I'm from America. Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Tronell. Artist said, I see you too busy practicing to say hello. Friend, did you even say hi to me first? Earlier, I mean. Brahu said, my son. Okay, I love that. Everybody's saying parents. So it looks like a lot of people feel like when it comes to a parent-child relationships, that's where the love without expectations is coming from. Mr. Bo said, yes, yes, yes. My love story was very unhealthy and it was a mess, because you got to realize what you really love. What did you really love in that story? And was that love reciprocal? What were you really focused on in that relationship? You know what? Okay. This person, Tom Holman, I don't know if you're a real person or what. You said, I love deporting illegal invaders. Does that count? And I was going, at first I was like, you know what? That is so rude. But I got to look at the terminology of it. And I try my best to say, hey, keep it an open space as long as it's not harming anybody. And if somebody is illegal and you think that they invaded, if they actually did invade something illegally, then enjoy what you love. If that's what they did, truly. Truly. Not you said, I'm not polite. Okay. Brahu said, yeah, we are all a part of Yah or Jah. I don't know how to pronounce that. Jah or Yah. Lithium said, your intuition is good. I have to let go of ego to realize I needed help from a bona fide person. Meiana is right. Again, God is one. He has many demigods, but there's only one supreme. And you know how I think? I really do think that the gods are just really personified feelings and emotions. Most of the time when you speak of these people, it's because they how do you describe, like, some of these demigods, these goddesses, these whatever we call these figurative, like, what is the word I'm trying to say, these characters, they represent a meaning of something else. And it's more complex than just saying that, oh, this thing I'm worshiping. People don't just worship a person for the person. They worship the person for the spirit that it exudes. It's like when you think of Beyonce. People don't like Beyonce just because she's Beyonce. They like Beyonce because she's dedicated. She's consistent. She's a perfectionist. She does what she does in her work. She works hard. Right? It's the spirit of Beyonce that they love. She's that girl. I do not have a religion, Jlar. Do not have a religion. Thank you, Aubrey. Musa, you said, will never truly grasp who God is. All know is that God is love. Yet here we are, tiny beings in the vast cosmic order, acting as if we're the center of it all. I'm not acting like I'm the center of it all. I'm the center of my universe, though. But I don't feel like I'm the center of the world of God, you know? I never felt that way. And I do feel like I grasp what God is pretty well. I don't feel like I can't grasp it. It's not as abstract as it used to feel to me. I feel like it makes sense. I'm not perfect, though. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and life is perfect for me. But I do feel like that understanding of God being the whole, and with me studying and understanding a little bit of biology and being able to see that comparison, that helped me learn. Side note, comparing and contrasting things is what helps me understand the world. Okay, Saudi Arabia. Okay, have a wonderful day, Mr. Abold. Now you say your mom. Okay. Artist, you say you want to ask a question? Of course, ask your question, baby. Lithium said, no characters. You hold your breath for long enough where you crave oxygen, air. This is when God, demigod. Okay, so you're saying like we worship the God of air and oxygen? I don't know. Let me know. I don't get it. Good night, Kervin. Thank you. You said I will be perfect because I'm smart and kind. Welcome back to the live, Damien. Is that right? Hi, Jessica. I love y'all too. Shani, you said I F with what you are saying. You are exploring narratives as it relates to the governance of God. Keep going. I love hearing your work on. Oh, I'm sorry. I do be messing up how I be reading this sometimes. I'm gonna read this over. You said I F with what you are saying. You are exploring narratives as it relates to the governance of God. Keep going. I love hearing you work out your thoughts. Oh, thank you. Moses said, because love is an unbreakable covenant, but most people will love because of money. Oh, thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. PR. Okay, shout out to Sierra Leone. Keep doing my thing. Thank you. Okay, Lithium, you said never worship any demigod, only the God you know. Like you said earlier, the one, all energy, spiritual, and material comes from that one. Yeah. Be careful with my life. Somebody said delusional. You can't go to sleep. You need to take some magnesium glycates. Take some magnesium, some valerian, some passion flower. Drink some cherry juice. Get you some sleep. But you know what's actually interesting is that I'm actually trying my best to combine my communication knowledge with my spiritual knowledge. And that is exactly what I do want to continue to explore, just like how where you at? You said Shani O Sinai. That's exactly what I want to explore. I really do want to explore more about pragmatic skills and pragmatic communication, whether it be verbal and nonverbal, in relation to our environment and God. Because I do believe that that is an aspect that God allowed us to have so that we can function in a more healthier way in our community, in our society. And I do think that in some ways, God is teaching us pragmatic skills through the Bible. Again, I don't sit and read the Bible, but when I did, and the stories that I've heard, you know, I used to go to church and I used to read Bible stories, so I know the stories in the Bible. A lot of times it's teaching you a lesson. It's teaching you a lesson, and a lot of those lessons are teaching you how to have better pragmatic skills as well as intuitive skills, trusting in yourself, doing what is best for your life. So that is what I'm really interested in. Y'all see my shirt? It says speech language pathology. This is what I study, speech language pathology. You said, do it. I just finished my first book on Caribbean spirituality and migration patterns. I believe God has given you a gift. You are wise to follow this path. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This is definitely something I am passionate about. This is definitely something I'm passionate about. You said, please reconsider you. Does anybody else have any questions, or y'all want to talk about anything else before we get off of live today? What college are you in? I'm in a nice one. Oh, you've had speech language pathologist your whole life? Yay. Yay. I used to take speech therapy when I was a kid too. That's kind of what got me into knowing what this was. Captain of a starship said, why do the people who read the Bible always claim it never what itself claims? Artist said, you talk too much. Lithium said, Meiana, can I have your email? Just trying to help. What you trying to help with, baby? GR said, what was your answer to this question? What question? Hey, Gary. Yeah, GR, let me know. What question you talking about? Lithium, you left the link. The live doesn't allow me to see links. So if you post a link, I'm not going to see it. Hey, Frank. Oh, we almost had 100 likes. Yay. That's pretty fun. That's what you said, the original sister? The pin question of this chat? Oh, what was my answer to it? Let me try to remember what I was saying, because who did you love without expecting anything back? So what I was saying earlier was that I just felt like I had to learn that it's not always good to just love without expectations, because I used to love my family without really expecting anything back. And when people, and it's not like my whole entire family, but people sometimes are not aware of their behavior and how their behavior affects other people. And sometimes when you're giving to people and they're not giving back to you because they're hurt themselves and they have a lot of issues in their own life, then it really drains you. It really does drain you. I don't know what sugar mommy is. I don't know what that is. So I think that now I'm trying to learn how to do that in a more healthier state. Like, I can do that, like, with my best friend. I try to really practice that with my best friend. Like, just seeing her as a person, as a human being, and being loyal and loving her unconditionally no matter where she is or how she responds to things. And I think I try my best to practice that the most with her, because I do love her so much and I do want the best for our relationship, and I want to keep our relationship going like for the rest of our lives. So that is one person who I could say I try to love without expecting anything back. But is it natural? No. Jutsu said, I miss you. I miss you too, friend. It's not natural for me to love without expecting anything back. Hi, the boy Black Panther. But I think I'm going to get off of here. We made it to 101 likes. And I don't know. I thought that y'all liked this. I feel like with the, maybe it's because I also changed my timing. And I've been going live at like 5. So I think closer to Thursday and Friday, I'm going to go live a little later to see what that looks like. Because I did change the time that I'm going live during the weekend. Gary, you said, I think you're beautiful, but I don't think this is the discussion at the moment. As for me, I hope you have a blessed night. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed night too. You said you drinking the alky and watching me? Oh, wow. Goodbye, artists. Gabrielle said, I love myself and I don't expect anything back. Shani Osana, you said, I found you on my For You page and we have similar niches, if that helps. What do you think those niches are? I'm very intrigued. What do you think those niches are? Because I was just watching this video on TikTok and he was like, a lot of the algorithm is leaning more towards what people are interested in and not just who people are following. And that's why shorts are so popular right now, because it's tailored to what are your interests right now. That's why you get stuck in the loop. Mr. Crummel said, hey, what do you think about plastic surgery and men that do that stuff? A man that does plastic surgery, what is it for? Is it necessary? Is it life or death? Or is it just, what is it? Like, is it just surface level thing? You just want to be cuter? I don't know. I never really had much thoughts on men who get plastic surgery. I never really seen that before. But y'all, this was a nice little live. I think I have to be a little bit more descriptive in some of the things that I'm trying to explain when it comes to love and stuff, because I think it can be so abstract. And a lot of times every single live that we go into, we for some reason always go into the topic of God. So I do think that I have to get a lot more detailed in my explanations, because at the end of the day, I do feel like a lot of times people who come on this live and they just say, you know, whatever they believe and they start talking about God, I don't disagree with them most of the time, unless it's negative. I don't disagree with them. So I want to make this community more like we're actually on the same page. I want everybody to understand that a lot of times we're more on the same page than not. It's just that we're using different language to describe things, and that's what gets us confused. Like the Babel Tower, whatever that's called. Whatever that is, you know? Y'all said where to donate. People been asking about PayPal and donations, but if y'all want to, I have my description in either up here or down below, and I have my Cash App in there if y'all would like to donate to the channel. You said, would I date someone who had crazy plastic surgery transformation? No. Because I don't even want plastic surgery unless it's like life or death. Yeah, I don't even want plastic surgery, so I don't really want somebody who wants plastic surgery. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, Lithium. I'm gonna go, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.